Soak it in, Kay. It goes fast. The days are long, the years are short. All right.
Exactly. All right, hold on a minute. Let me see. And all right, we're live. Okay, got it. We're gonna go live. I'm gonna record on the computer because I've been known to screw up technology. Oh my gosh, good morning. Okay, we're gonna start right off the bat because Rich doesn't have a ton of time this morning. And I'm not gonna talk a whole lot. If you guys don't know Rich, he's one of my dearest friends. Over the years, we've gotten to be so close, and he's like a brother from another mother, and I adore him. So I'm in accountability calls with Rich, Mitch, Hank every single week. Rich is one of the co-founders along with Mitch, Hank, and myself on Family Tree. So if you haven't seen Rich, you aren't really plugged into Family Tree, but he is amazing with what he's done with his business and his backstory. And he's just gonna pour into all of us today. So Rich, this is a crew, and I'll start adding people as they come in, but take it away, my friend. And thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Elizabeth. Nice to meet everybody here. Is this basically a production-oriented call or a revenue share-oriented call or kind of a hybrid?
Kind of a hybrid. Yeah, most of them production for sure. And this is kind of our huddle we do every Friday morning. And
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely a hybrid, but you bring such a unique flavor to it that
Okay.
this is your call.
I don't want to be redundant because I did a whole different thing yesterday and I just saw Matt pop on. I think Matt was on yesterday, right? So I don't want to give him the same dosage, the same meal, no leftovers today. So we're going to change it up a little bit. Okay, so basically, let me give you guys like a real quick 5-second bio of my history of sales, and then you could say, okay, this guy's full of it, or maybe we should listen. Okay, so I dropped out of college in 2099, something like that. And anyway, it was going to be like be a roofer or lay tile or learn a trade. So I became a real estate appraiser, and then I moved over to becoming an agent back in 2006. So from 2006 to 2019, which is when I did my last transaction, I became a listing agent. And I sold $1 billion of real estate, and I was the second largest team at Remax in my state of North Carolina that I live in. So there's a few things that were big takeaways that I could have done faster, better, without less torture on myself. So we'll try to stick there, and then we can spiderweb out wherever you guys want. First thing is the first good piece of information that I got from my owner was the owner at Remax was you list to last, which I had never heard of that back in 2006, right? But what she said was basically, Rich, you're on the wrong side of the business. You're trying to represent buyers and go show property. And what you need to do is have a stable of inventory that would allow you to leverage your time and your energy and make more money. And I was thinking to myself, well, that makes more sense if I'm basically the one who's sowing the seeds and has all the fruit. That would give me a lot more stability in this anxiety-filled roller coaster that we are as 1099s. So I started going after listings, and the good thing is that I have absolutely zero money to invest in my real estate business because nobody told me I should save anything. I was like paycheck to paycheck, and I was going to be a real estate agent. So that put a lot of pressure on me. And one of the things that I realized in hindsight, not at the time, is that you don't rise to the occasion when you're under pressure. You sink to your highest level of training, right? So I started to realize that if I got the reps in and I was able to practice and really just started falling in love with the mastery of whatever I'm working on, which was a pretty narrow focus, was for a seller who doesn't want me to call them about their house not to hang up on me in 5 seconds. I had a very, very narrow major. Can I get past 5 seconds with somebody on the phone? And then at that point, can I get past 15 seconds? And then at that point, can I get off within a minute with an appointment? I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than this. Like Kay's little baby can handle this in about 2 years because it's just so simple. Just get me past the 5 seconds, get me into 15 seconds where now I'm talking a little bit, and get me off the phone in a minute with an appointment that I can confirm or go on to immediately. And I started to do the reps on what that looks like. So I didn't have money for farming back then where people would send out 7,000, postcards every week and a half. There was no real sophisticated internet, I hate to tell you back then. social media, all of these passive ways of getting business weren't available. So you either were very popular and grew up in that town, which I did not, and didn't sound like anybody that lives in the town that I was at the time, or I would have to learn how to prospect. And I didn't want to prospect because I hate rejection. And you got to start thinking in your head. And I'm not trying to get super religious because I'm not a super religious person, but like rejection is God's protection. It's like all I told myself. Like if they're saying no to me, like I can't let that be a dictation on my self-worth. I just have to realize that this is not meant for me right now. And we're not supposed to be crossing paths right now. And I need to move forward and try to find the person that is waiting for me. And I was able to sort of have peace in my mind because I don't have a super excessive level of self-worth. So you get pulled down
Right.
on these calls. Like I don't know about you guys, but you get rejected by 3 or 4 people in a row, and it's like, wow, I don't want to do this tomorrow. Like this feels awful, right? So when I started thinking, like I started a mantra in my head. I'm like, okay, like rejection is healthy. This is the order in which I am supposed to move forward without any real time understanding of what's going on. But if I define my experience by rejection, I'm never going to make it in this business because I'm probably going to experience a boatload of rejection and a minority of, oh, yeah, this sounds great. You seem competent. Come over my house, sell my house. So once I got through sort of like, how can I survive fighting with Mike Tyson in a phone booth? I started to really feel like I can experiment a little bit here. I can play. So I started calling people and saying, hey, listen, my name's Rich Tomasini. I work at Remax, okay, which is a lot nicer to say. I work at EXP, right? And I am actually looking up inventory that failed to sell on the marketplace. And I know that you just got bombarded with 300 Keller Williams agents that just came out of a fire booth of training. But I used to be a real estate appraiser. I'm pretty much a sniper on evaluations. And one of 2 things went wrong on your last listing.
Yeah, the one yesterday.
Do you want to know what they are? And honestly, as angry and crazy as people were, most of them were a little curious. Like, I mean, reluctantly curious. And I would go on and say, I know exactly what happened wrong. I'm not quite sure you do. Challenge them a little bit, ruffle their feathers just a touch. I'm not being disrespectful. And I would say, you either listen to your realtor or you didn't. And they would start to rant. Oh, my realtor sucked. The pictures were awful. I have a 1.5-story house, not a ranch. They didn't encompass the best view of the house. I didn't get an offer and they told me they'd sell it. And I would say, okay, so let's evaluate the realtor. We have a realtor that was competent, that was giving you consultation, and you didn't listen to the realtor, or we had a realtor that was not competent and you listened to them and they led you astray. And they almost always will blame the realtor. So what I would say at that point is, let's see if you're right. I need to put my eyes on your property. I need to see what the inside looks like, what's changed, what are the angles that didn't convey on the MLS, because if I just look on my computer screen, I won't be able to see the sheer glory that you just told me about on the listing. So let me get my eyes on it. And then I'm going to go back to my office. I'm going to reconcile what the house is worth. And then I'm going to call you tomorrow and tell you what the number is, how many days will be on the market, what the percentage of ask price to list price will be. And you're going to decide to list with me or not. And there's no harm done. I have no entitlement issues. Like, I'm totally expecting that this can go either way. Deal? And there was no's, 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 no's. Yes. Okay, we're in business. So you go to the appointment and you build rapport right away. Look, I get paid solely on commission. There's no base pay here. I'm not at a car dealership or some kind of, corporate bonus sales job. I want the highest price that we can grab from the market. I want to sell it as fast as possible because we both want checks yesterday. And my fiduciary responsibility is to protect you at all the places that you've never been protected so thoroughly and safely. And I want to make sure that we get this right. So if the average marketing time right now in 2023 is what we say, maybe 25 days across the country, 40 days, it's not 6 months, right? It's not 2 days anymore. Well, I don't need a 6-month listing. Why do I need a date for 6 months if I'm going to know who you are in 6 weeks, right? Or why am I going to get married in 6 months if I'm not going to know who you are in a year and a half? Like, let's just make them all match, right? So the average time right now to sell a house is 27 days for illustration purposes. I need a 40-day listing contract just in case we have a tiny little glitch. I don't need to be married for you for 6 months. You don't have to call my broker in charge and divorce me. We're going to just terminate or expire if we're not at a closing table, a month from now or a month and a half from now. Okay. I'm going to spend all my money on the photographs, the media, the marketing, the IDX feeds, the back channels that we have at EXP with 88,000 partners referring business off market, on market. I'm going to go out there and have the houses measured. I'm going to come up with all of your marketing presentations, whether it be tangible or just digitally. I'm going to go out there and manage all the showings. I'm going to protect you from the terms. We're going to try and negotiate once and not twice through due diligence. I'm going to set expectations. I'm going to handle every single thing. And at the very, very pivotal moments, you're going to be so excited to sign an offer that you're going to ask me to come over while it's dark out. We're going to sign the offer, and then I'm going to get you to closing, and you're going to get your check before I get mine. Sound fair? And if I succeed, I will get 3%. And if I fail, I'll get 0%. I wish my knee surgeon said that. If the operation's great and I see you at a Boston Marathon, I'm going to say, hey, Rich, here's the bill. And I'm going to grab it, pour water on my head, and pay it. Or if he says, hey, Rich, is your knee bothering you in mile 21? Yeah, doc. Don't worry. Bill's on me. Thank you, doc. Right? So not a bad value proposition. We're not asking someone to have a boatload of faith and trust in us. I mean, it's pretty easy, right? So I started to prospect. And guess what happened? I got better, right? So the difference between me at 45 and a half years old, or 46 almost actually next month, right, is that I can brush my teeth better than my 4-year-old. And my 6-year-old, I'm a late start, guys, if you haven't put that together, can brush his teeth way better than my 4-year-old. He's got mastery, right? So, and an 88-year-old has a lot easier time brushing their teeth. There's less of them, right? So we just get better and better and better and better, right? So anybody having a hard time brushing their teeth right now? Nah, you guys are great, right? How about driving? Hey, Brian, listen, you're eating a taco, changing gears, listening to me on Zoom call, driving. You got kids in the back. You got golf clubs in the trunk. You got business appointments, right? No problem. You're not having to really use a lot of critical thinking on when do I put in my signal, what's an intersection look like? All good, right? So as we start doing things and we start having those reps and that consistency, then what we start actually having is subconscious mastery. Okay, so Mike Sherrard talked about 5 things about indoctrinating your clients. Customer care. Let's talk about those for a second. Acknowledge. My first part of a listing prospecting call is, hey, I acknowledge the fact that you probably had 300 people call you the first day that your listing expired. I forgot to tell you that your realtor, when you were breaking up with them, should have told you that tomorrow's going to stink. Put your silent mode on. Did they tell you that? No, you guys didn't end on good terms, did you? Now we have more conversation to talk about, right? But I acknowledge that you are trying to save yourself 3%, even if it's at the cost of 15 or 20% market value that you missed. I acknowledge where all your concerns are. I do. Now, having said that, if you're with me, I can project what's going to happen. 1, you're not going to have to break up with me. 2, we're going to get this done fast. 3, I'm going to shoot you straight, and you might not like the answer, but you can depend on it. It's data based, right? You're not going to get my voicemail. You're going to be able to have someone who's thinking in front of you. You're going to have somebody that's sold many more houses, 846 sales in my stint of selling real estate. There's not much I haven't been through, right? I'm going to prepare you for what's ahead. First of all, your lights are going to be left on. Your doors are going to be left unlocked. If your dog runs out of the house, let's put a lock on that gate. I'll put comments and let's monitor it, right? Let's take the dog with you. We're going to have situations that happen. They're going to try to negotiate during repairs because they feel like at that point they got you locked in and they can renegotiate about who you really are. Anybody remember dating? Weren't you the best person to date for the first 30 days? And then when your personality started to bleed through, at that point they had enough lust or love or time invested or hope in you to where you could start bleeding out. Well, I'm a little cranky in the mornings. I got to be honest, right? Right? Or whatever it is, right? So they're going to try to pull back from you. We're not doing it. Just like I don't negotiate my commission twice. I'm a good negotiator. That's why you hired me, right? If you can steal my commission off me by asking one simple question and thinking that I am so insecure that I'm going to start budging money, then I'm probably not the best person to hire for yourself. Just tell you right now. Okay. So we're going to prepare them. Then we're going to pre-handle their objections. I know what you're thinking. Yes, there are flat fee listing firms out there, and what you get is flat results. I understand. And I understand that your sister-in-law is a realtor down the street, but if you guys don't go well and don't sell this house, Thanksgiving's a lot tougher. I understand that you don't want to pay 3%, but I don't think you understand that you're leaving a lot of money on the table because you don't know what you're doing. I understand that you're not motivated to sell. I also understand that we're talking and we've been in this conversation for 2.5 minutes. And if you asked me if I wanted to have a lobotomy, I wouldn't have been on the phone with you for 2.5 minutes because I'm sure I don't want one of those. I understand that, right? Then so when we're pre-handling the objections, they're basically saying, holy smokes, this person is reading my mind. How am I reading your mind? Because I'm experienced. I play chess. I know exactly what you're going to do. I've been around the block. Do you guys want to hire someone new? Those were the 300 knuckleheads that called you the day that your house went expired. I'm calling you 5 weeks later because I know I'm dealing with a lot less homicidal person now. Now, can you say the word homicidal to a stranger on the phone call in the first 15 seconds? Sure you can. They'll remember that call. I've said it to all kinds of people. I had an argument with a guy who's in a wheelchair, putting a for sale by owner sign out in his front yard. Okay. I rolled my window down because I was driving down the street and I said, hey, buddy, you need help with that? And he goes, yeah. So I open my truck door. I get out. I firmly put it in there. I grab a sledgehammer from the back of my truck and I root it into the ground. And he goes, man, you're convenient. And I'm like, yeah, I put a lot of signs in yards. So I thought I could help you. And he goes, what kind of signs you put in yards? I said, real estate signs. And he goes to me, F you. So I was like, what? And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, don't try to come over here and do me favors so you can get my listing. I see you coming, this and that, right? And I said to him, I said, hey, listen, just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can run your mouth to me. Like, who gave you that right? You're using your disability in a weaponized way. Like, if you want to have it out with me, I'll go pull a chair over and we can argue in the chair or punch each other in the face in the chair, but at least it'll be even. I won't take advantage of your situation like the way that you're taking advantage of my situation. You're taking an able-bodied male and you're telling me F you after I just did you a favor and thinking that because you're in a wheelchair, I'm not going to roll you down the street. And I just want to let you know, I'm going to roll you down the street. I'll just do it from a chair standpoint. And guess what? I listed that house in like 25 minutes and we sold it and it was all was good, right? So don't worry about being nice and saying the right thing, because being nice is being honest and being authentic and meeting people where they're at and calling them out when they're wrong. When I get people that say, oh, my house is worth $790,000, I say, oh, that's great. I don't want to disagree with you and jeopardize our rapport, but if I agreed with you, then we would both be wrong. What do I do? Tell me where would I go from here? I know your house ain't worth 790. You know your house isn't worth 790. You just haven't admitted that to both of us out loud yet. I've got the data. You don't. If you had the data, then I would have the data and I would agree with you. So based on this, are you looking for someone who's going to be honest that can guide you through the way? Or are you looking for somebody that's got fairy dust and is going to waste your time and put the house on the market and drive a lot of people to your house? And then you're going to have a further exacerbated opinion of realtors. Is because nobody had the honesty or fortitude to have healthy conflict. The last thing that Mike Sherrard says is excite. Hey, man, wouldn't it be awesome to move to Wisconsin and enjoy the 4 weeks of summer and be next to your grandkids and be able to move into that chapter that this house is delaying you from realizing that? Like, let's do it. We're going to do this. Here's the cool thing. I'm going to do everything for you. I'm going to control the process. You control the decisions. When you make a bad decision, I'm going to be your friend and tell you, hey, I don't know if it's a good idea. If Elizabeth and I are at a soccer game and she's like, Rich, I don't know what happened, but this weird feeling just overcame me where I want to streak and run across the field. I would look at her and say, I don't think Wes is going to think that that was a good idea. I just don't. And you have 11,000 people in your revenue share organization, and I could see this thing going viral, right? Plus, we just had hot dogs and popcorn. We're both bloated. It's not the best time for us to take our clothes off, right? So I'm going to have healthy conflict with the people that I care about. So my light just went off because I'm on my generator in my Zoom room, and I saw it had 9% before I got on here, right? These are the kinds of problems that we deal with, right? So good. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to acknowledge, project, prepare, pre-handle, excite. Now, I didn't know that that was the order until Mike Sherrard said it, but that sure defines what I've been doing for a long, long time. Anybody get that? Okay. Now, The difference between you getting listings and not listings all comes down to your ego. And I hate to tell all the ladies on here, but your egos are as big as ours. You're just way better at managing it. Okay. Men are used to rejection since we had our first hair on our chin. We would go up to whoever we were interested in asking out and get rejected hard time and time and time again, because that was just the world order of the way things worked when I grew up, right? Women had discernment. They were able to pick and choose. Okay, this guy clearly don't want to go out with him, but this guy seems pretty nice. Let's go, right? So we are used to dealing with rejection a lot. Women are getting to that point where you're dealing with rejection a lot. And I just want to tell you, from being on the other side of the fence, it's really the only thing that you guys need to be the dominant party all the way across the board, because you're still in more real estate than we are. You guys are more educated than we are statistically. Guys are falling out of college like a plague. Women are far more educated. You guys are taking over the workforce, not just in real estate, but everywhere, right? So if you could just get used to the rejection, like, you're superwoman, it's a superpower. And the rejection is, what's my self-worth and what is this impact on my self-worth? And all I can tell you is that your self-worth is not as high as it should be. Okay, it's just not. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry about your childhood. Sorry about my childhood. Like, it's just, we just don't think we're worthy of certain things. And I don't know why it's like that. I'm hoping to change that with my kids. I really, really am mindful. But you're good enough. Anybody here feel like they're not good enough to get a house sold? I mean, you're far better than that. That's easy. Anybody good enough to worry and care for somebody and protect them in a negotiation? Yeah, right, for sure. Anybody good enough to go through the line dancing steps of going through a transaction? Sure, of course. Do you guys deserve to make 100 or 200 or 500,000 a year? Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen somebody who makes 500,000 a year and you're like, wow, I don't know what happened there, but it's not evident. Well, why don't you deserve to have that? Of course you do, right? You deserve to have whatever you decide that you deserve to have. If you're going to self-sabotage and think that you should have nothing, then we got to get that fixed first. It's okay. We've all done it. If you think that you're an imposter and that you don't deserve this great life that you're having, maybe you're wrong, right? Maybe you're wrong, right? Maybe this is just more than you could dream of and it's all going to happen for you. But it all starts with taking action and dealing with the rejection. And I think that when you guys start calling FSBOs, you'll start realizing that the projected narrative that you feared the most barely ever happens. I called FSBOs so much in 2007 that the owner of owners.com and fsbo.com, hold on one second, they both called me and threatened to sue me. And I told them, go ahead and sue me. I'm worth like $9,000. Like, whatever. Could care less. Bankruptcy? Like, I'm honestly on the brink of laughing. If you want to stay on the phone with me, I'll keep laughing, but I just don't want to scare you, right? And then 2 months later, I took another 40-50% of their zip code and they called me and offered me a job. And I said, why would I work for you? You guys can't even do what you're doing. I said, you should come work for me. And then I took 72 listings my first year, because guess what? I got used to the rejection. And I can tell you, after calling way more FSBOs than anybody on this call, I would at least assume, like 1 out of 50 were super rude to me. It's such a small number. It's just such a small number. It's when you say the right things, which I already just gave to you guys, watch the rewind, and you have some humility in your voice and you're a little self-deprecating and you're a little funny and you stick out just a little bit and you challenge them where they know they're wrong and you shoot for the listing appointment, most of the people are willing to find out what the house is worth right now. Hey, listen, you know how much training there are in CMAs when you get your real estate license? Nothing. You know what they're doing? They're pulling comps and they don't know how to make the adjustments. You know what they're doing on your house? They're guessing what it would be worth. And if it sells in 2 minutes, you think they're a hero because they undersold the house. If your house sells in 2 minutes, you undersold your house. If it sits for 2 months, they missed the boat. Now they're chasing the 9 ball around the table, right? Wouldn't it be nice to not have to guess? Wouldn't it nice to not have an expert that tells you what your house is worth? Not the tax assessor, me. Someone that actually tells you what the house is worth, what we can sell it based on comps, based on adjustments, based on a fundamental understanding of moving property and knowing the difference between being an appraiser looking in the rearview mirror and being a real estate agent looking in the windshield. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody that's be able to reconcile those two ways of looking behind you and looking in front of you? That's me. Nice to meet you. I'll be at your house in like 17 minutes if you guys want to meet. Let's do this. All right. It's almost 30 minutes. Let me give you guys a little Q&A time or digestion time. Everybody okay? Anybody's blood pressure moving around? Anybody want to do something today?
Hey, Rich, I have a question for you.
Good. Let's do it.
So are you hitting those objections before they even can come out with that? I don't call a lot of FSBOs or anything like that.
Maybe my first line, Megan. Acknowledgement. Look, I know right now that your allergy is real estate agents because you have a home that you own that at some point you contemplated selling. And these vultures are coming out of every tree around the neighborhood. All I can tell you is that I am an honest liar. I'm a vulture. I want to sell this house, but I want to do it to where you get the fattest check and we do this competently. And you didn't do it last time. I can tell you right now, because there would never be an expired after my name was on a property unless, and I won't take the listing if I feel like we can't get to the finish line. So yeah, that might be my first sentence. How refreshing would that be? Because you know what they're hearing? Hey, my name is Megan Clark. I work at Keller Williams. I saw that your house was listed for sale. And I mean, they're teaching, you got people that never sold real estate teaching classes. That doesn't work. You're a robot. You're chat GPT. You're mechanical. Anybody want to work with mechanical things? No. I want like passion, emotion, heartbeat, like unpredictability, savviness, the ability. Listen, if I can charm you, Megan, in 45 seconds on a call to where you invite me to your house after you told 25 people no, don't you think that I'd be a good person to sell something? I'll tell them right when I walk in the door, hey, look, I was charming enough to get this far. I'm going to try not to mess it up for the next 30 minutes. Let's go look at the house. Okay. I've even joked around and said, oh, wow. I know most realtors would say that I see that you have a sailboat painted in your thing and would try to relate a story to you of how I love sailing, but I've never been on a sailboat. It looks like a lot of work to me. Is that something you're into? Isn't that a refreshing rapport builder versus, oh, my uncle sailed to Antarctica one time. Like, who cares? Like, they don't care. You got to let them talk about them. You got to play. You got to be playful. You got to have fun. Here's the thing. If it doesn't look fun with what you're doing, why do they want to do it with you? So a revenue share, everyone's got, oh my God, revenue share. It's so hard. It's really not that hard. I became a multimillionaire in the last 5.5 years, and that was a lot less work than the 20 years before that. That was hard. Okay. So who are you hanging out with? What's their energy? What are they saying? If you blend into those people, you're screwed. You got to get out of the people pile. You got to know what works for you. Like Elizabeth is a magnet. She has a magnetic field around her. You guys know, right? If you don't have a magnetic field around you, I don't. But people are still drawn to me. It's just not through a magnetic charge. It's through curious what I'm going to say next. It's through visceral connection. It's through, I want to hear it straight right now because I'm wrestling with this. I'm like a walking lie detector, which is not what I signed up to be. It's just the way that my brain works and the way that it works, right? So you just got to find what ask the people that care about you, what is the thing that makes me me? If you don't know, and then be that, and then find the people that want that, and just filter, sort, gain listings, get buyers agents, leverage your deals, close your deals, and transcend the skill set to revenue share. How do you go from 70 transactions a year to almost 10,000 revenue share? When I get people that are production based and they're like, oh, I sold 300 houses last year. I'm like, great, sold that last month. Except I didn't get in the car and scoot people around and wasn't even in my marketplace. How cool is that? Would you rather have like a 0.01% commission on every house that sells across the country? Or would you rather have 3% on 50 listings in your zip code? I prefer the first part. Okay. Oh,
Rich,
is
can
it-
you, I know you have a couple minutes, but tell them our little passion project we're working on, especially that you're pouring into, and
okay. Yes, I forgot. I was supposed to mention that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you guys a 90-second
because
pitch.
they're not all listening to me. They'll listen to you.
I don't know. Anybody have 90 seconds? You guys want me to pitch you guys live, just like you have to
Mhm.
pitch when you get off this phone? Okay. Basically, if I could give you a point system to where you could remove the how and the white noise that comes in your email and your work chat and your inbox, and all you had to do was get 25 points a day, 4 days a week to make a 6-figure GCI, would you do it? Well, would you do it if it was less than $100 a month? Would you do it if there was no contract? Okay. Now, would you do it if you had access to Elizabeth Riley all the time? Would you do it if you had access to Hank, Mitch, and myself, and Mike Sherrard, and Eric Orland, and Kurt Shewell, and Joe Turco, and Gail DeMarco, and all these other people that have been able to become the top 100 team builders across the globe? If you had access to all of them for $96 a month, would you do it? Would you do it if we could show you that 1,100 agents increased their production 8x in a 1-year period of time because all they did was count points and get out of their head? Well, if you think that you would, grab Elizabeth's link, come on here, and then play with us on the biggest challenge that anyone's ever had in productivity. We're doing a 4-week challenge course in productivity, July 1st, which is, by the way, like almost tomorrow. And for $96, you can get in there and you're going to get all of us for 4 weeks, and we're going to compete against you guys. Right, against each other. Jen Wilson might be on Elizabeth's team, and Eddie might be on mine. Right, so it's going to be awesome, and we're going to do it live. And then in September, when it's recruiting season, we're going to show you guys how to build organizations, and we're going to do one in September. So if any of that sounds good, click on the link that Elizabeth at some point in this call will put in the chat box, and come have access to us. And guess what? Elizabeth, the pioneer that she is, she was the first one. When Elizabeth went over to EXP, let me just tell you one thing, because I think a lot of people forget this about Elizabeth, and I think about this first when I think about Elizabeth. I am not crazy. I'm just the first one. She had to say that to people. I am not crazy. I am just the first one. I didn't have to say that. I wasn't the first one. I'm like, I'm not crazy. Elizabeth did it. Elizabeth had nobody to say that to. I am not crazy. It's just me. Without Elizabeth, in my opinion, and I don't care if you guys share this with Glenn Stanford or not, this company is 50 agents, 100 agents, 200 agents. So this is the most important conversation. Without Elizabeth, there is no 5 influencers at EXP in the top of the board. Okay, it all stems from someone saying that I'm going to be the first person. If you want to be around people like us, this is where we're training. And like a pioneer like she is, she created Workplace, a Rockstar Agents group that we had to beg, borrow, and steal and ask Kay Evans to let us in and give us admin tools. And hey, Elizabeth, nice car. Can I borrow the keys? And we are trying to build that out. And Mike Sherrard just had a call with 200 people, signed up 159, right? Like, let's go. Anybody want to do some real work together? Let's go. I can't train you guys every day unless you pay $96 a month, and I can train everybody every day, because what we're going to do is we're going to change the retention problem that we have at this company, and I'm willing to take a huge financial setback to work with my close friends. So Elizabeth now is going to be exposed to my group, which is what I want, and vice versa, which I'm not sure is what you guys want, but you can all debrief when I get off. Okay. So anyway, look, nice being with you guys.
Rich, you're
okay?
amazing. Thank you. I know you have another meeting, so thank you for
Cool.
spending some time with us this morning. And yeah, you're amazing. So
That's
have an
what-
awesome Friday.
Okay, thanks.
If y'all can stay on.
Kill it, guys. Hey, by the way, Friday isn't over. It just started. Like, get a bunch of work done today, so you're busy on Monday. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, friend.
Bye, thank you.
You see why I love
Thank you.
Rich? Doesn't he just make it roll off his tongue? Like, yeah, right. So if you guys if you haven't been plugged into Family Tree, you know, Rich, Hank, Mitch, and I kind of step back a little bit to elevate our leaders. So you see some of our other leaders in there, and but there's a ton of trainings from Rich. And like he said, there's 10 of us that are coaches around the country for different reasons. Rich gets to coach one-on-one. He's anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month just to have access to Rich. and what's pretty cool, and Mike Sherrard and all these other people. And so all of us just have fun coming together, and I have access to all these people. And so now you guys are going to have access to all these people too. So if you guys haven't gotten involved in Rockstar, like he said, we're doing the production piece starting July 1st. And then this fall, we're going to do the attraction piece too, because I know that's on a lot of y'all's to-do list, and you want to get better at that. And we're here to help you guys all out. So I'll put that link back in the tribe. And we were originally just doing teams by teams by teams. So Elizabeth's team, Rich's team, and we had a planning call the other day, and I was like, they're used to me. I'm like, there's not, we have huddles. We do a lot more than a lot of other people do. And I was like, what if we just mixed up all the teams? I was like, I think there's a lot more value in that. So that's what we're going to do. So I have no idea who's going to be on my team. I have no idea who's going to be on Rich's team, but we just did a beta one with a number of us there were 66 of us, mostly Rich's team. And it was all attraction based. Y'all, they got in 6 weeks, we had 468 joint applications for EXP with out of 66 people.
Awesome.
I mean, it was amazing because everybody's having so much fun. And for y'all that are in the Rockstar program right now, there's training every single day. I mean, it's fun, right? It's fun watching the competition that I'm seeing. I mean, I'm getting calls from Lizette's husband laughing, going, I don't know what you've done to my wife, but she's having so much fun and her business is growing. And
Oh, yes.
fun to, I mean, I
It's just
saved that.
great.
I saved that voicemail, Lizette. It makes me laugh.
Okay.
But I need to share it with everybody, I think, but we all win together, and it's fun when we're all winning. So anyway, I want you all in there. We only have spots for 500 people. And like Mike told us yesterday, he was like, oh my gosh, I was on a call and I've got 150. I was like, shoot, you can't take all of our spots. So I'll put the link in our tribe. And if you guys can't find it, just text me on a workplace chat or send a message. But anyway, let's talk production stuff. Was that helpful with Rich? And what did you guys take away from it?
His confidence, just, how he just speaks. He's funny. He's confident. He's on. He's not cocky. And he doesn't act desperate for it and get too stuck in his head. And I think that just comes from experience, right? And yeah, it was inspiring, definitely, because that's how we want it. We want to have fun with it and be a resource for people and not feel like we're like, I gotta make a call. It's just like, he makes it more, because anytime you see him, I just feel like it definitely is an exciting and shot in the arm.
Well, and yeah, absolutely. And to think about that, think about being on the receiving end of a call from Rich.
Yeah.
How many people are so check the box? This is what I have to say. This is what I have to do. And quite frankly, the market is stressful for sellers and buyers and agents and everybody else. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of concern. There's a lot of doubt. And when you have somebody that's just kind of timidly stepping in because they want the business, it's a different experience. And if I were on the receiving end of a call, I have more experience than Rich, years wise, right? And transaction wise, and you name it. I wasn't an appraiser. Rich has so many skill sets that I don't have. But if I was on the receiving end of a call from Rich with me, I would absolutely hire Rich, right? Because his approach is so different, and his confidence, to your point, his confidence is there. And it's like, okay, well, if it doesn't work, and I loved, I mean, I hear him all the time, but I loved hearing him say, the comparison with the knee doctor. Well, yeah. I mean, if we don't do our job, we don't get paid. So we have a vested interest in there too. And you just set that expectations up front and overcome any of those objections up front. So I agree with you.
For me, was the big part for me was the rejection, when he was talking about rejection, because I mean, and I think it is for all of us, but sometimes, I mean, for me, the other day I was doing my calls and I got a very rude lady, and that really put me down, and it shouldn't be that way. Make sense? So for me, that was like a huge part. Like, you're gonna get tons of no before the yes, but yeah, we need to like switch our mindset on that, because as many no's as you get, that means that you're closer to the yes. So that's how we have to think about this. And that for me was huge when he was talking about that. So.
Well, for me too, also just being authentic to who you are and your personality in your conversations with these people, instead of, as he says, oh, hi, my name is Paula Hobbs, I'm with eXp Realty. Being more authentic to who you are and what value you can really bring to these people that you're calling, I think really struck with me. Just present to them who you are and why you are doing what you're doing, and be more authentic with who your true self is.
I just put the Rockstar link, by the way, in the chat quickly, if you guys want that.
I
Yeah,
have a
there's a
question,
te-
Elizabeth.
Natasha, yeah.
So if we're already in this Rockstar, how do we continue? Like, what do we need to do? Not, I mean, I have a couple agents that I'm going to do it with on my downline, but for me personally, what do I need to do?
Click the link and sign up, and that'll put you in the group.
Okay.
And then it's going to add you into the Rockstar agent group. I mean, they're doing, I think Matt Kelly, you're in there, right? And Ryan, I
I'm
think
in.
I see you guys in there. And I mean, they're coaching already. And I'm so far behind on all the coaching, but they're coaching. And so once you guys have signed the link and signed up, then they're going to add you to that group. So you'll have all of the past coaching Zooms and things like that. You'll have access to everything.
But
So
that's different than the trial run that we've been doing.
the trial
It's
run
like-
was attraction. I don't know. Were you in that one?
I was in the one that we were doing both, actually, where we meet,
Oh yeah.
Mondays
Yeah.
and Thursdays, and
Yeah, that was the beta one, and now we're launching one in July with all
Okay.
these other teams. Yeah.
got it. Understood.
So like I said,
Can
there's
you
going to
talk?
be.
Can you
Go-
talk a little bit about that? How it's going to work, Elizabeth? The one that you're going to launch now with the other teams?
Yeah, so there's only spots for 500. There's 10 of us out. 10. Okay, so if y'all know the terminology, alphas are the top. So we've got alpha groups, beta groups, all these different groups. The alphas are, hold on, I've got to let my blend. Alphas are the top influencers in the company, right? So they have, I think the guidelines are you have 1,000 people in your organization or more, and I think there's like 50 or 60 alphas. Maybe there's more than that, whatever. Anyway, so 10 of the alphas that are coaches and trainers and groups, they're the ones that we're just doing this on our own. And so when you sign up for the link, and Lizette, you're already in it. Matt, you're already in it. I know you guys are already signed up. They're going to set up all the groups right before we launch. So they haven't done that yet. And they'll put, because the coaches are going to team up. So it'll be 2 coaching teams for the 4 weeks. So then each team will have 100, I believe 100 agents competing against the other 4 teams. So you'll be added to a group. They just haven't added it yet because they're trying to fill up all the spots first.
Okay.
I'm so excited. That's going to be so cool. Oh,
It's
Jesus.
super fun.
So nobody knows who's going to be your coach pretty much.
Well,
Oh,
we're
that's
all
so
going to be
exciting.
coach. Correct. You don't know what team you're going to be on. We're all going to be
Right.
coaching. Kurt Shewall is one of the coaches. If you don't know who Kurt is, he's a beast in
Yeah.
Michigan. He brought GoGo to the company, GoGo Bethke to the company, but he is huge production. So you've got Kurt and you've got Hank. Y'all know Hank. So you're going to have 2 coaches on different weeks, but you don't know whose team you'll be on yet. So our teams are all going to compete. And like I said, I didn't want all of y'all on my team. Y'all have access to me anyway. And this is what I told the guys, because I'm the only female. We're getting Gail in there. So I said, look, mine get complacent. We're all comfortable with each other. And that's the opposite of what we want. We don't want to be comfortable. We want to be uncomfortable. We want to connect with other people. We want to learn from other people. And that's how you guys build these relationships and rapport around the country. And so I said, no, I don't want my people with my people. So we're going to mix it all up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's fun when, I mean, the competition makes it fun, but it's fun when we all win together. And I'm seeing huge success from, the people that have already been doing the Rockstar coaching, and I'm seeing y'all plug in, and you guys are getting the how, and you're getting into action. Whereas before, a lot of times I think we have so much information and you just don't know which way to go. And so instead of doing something, you don't do anything, right? And you get stuck. So we're getting everybody unstuck. It's our little passion project, because just like Family Tree, that was our passion project. We were trying to approach how we could include everybody regardless of lines. And we've got 9,000 people organically in the Family Tree. And it's our passion project that we show the company. Then the company's like, wait, what are they doing? They're doing something different. And this is going to be one of those things too. It's like, if we can get everybody, 500 of us, they did a beta with a group of 1,100 agents. And like you mentioned, they 8x'd their business think about what your production is right now. Think about what you're doing right now or what your goals are. And everybody's goals are different. So it's not like, okay, everybody has to make $500,000 a year. We all set our own goals. And so we're all competing against our own goals. But think about what you are in your business right now and 8 times that. I think that would change all of our business a little bit, right? What if you just doubled it?
So is it production based or is it attraction based for both?
This is production based. We're
Okay.
doing attraction because right now it's real estate season. It's selling season. Now what happens is on attraction, people start moving brokerages and companies more in the fall, right? Because they're trying to figure out what their next steps are. And so in September, we're going to launch another one that's more attraction. I mean, we'll still always have the production base, but
Perfect
once you
timing.
guys are in the ecosystem, I mean, I'm telling you, for $96, I'm like, and we're not getting paid for this. This is the platform's getting paid. I'm even paying to be a coach. Like I'm paying to have a platform. So we're all in this together. It's not that anybody's making money off of this. The money goes to to Rob Tucker, who created it and who's keeping the platform up and running. So the production piece will be another launch in September. But I'd encourage you guys to get in the production piece. I'm going to be in it just as much. I don't know everything. I'm going to learn from all sorts of people every single time in this challenge as well. So want to see you guys in there. It's going to be fun.
I'm
I'm
Question about
so
that was
excited
that
about
if we're already
this.
in there, like Matt, like said, I think
Yeah.
Kay and myself are, do we need to do anything different or sign up on anything?
Nope, you're already
Yeah,
in
that
it.
was my question.
Yeah, some of y'all are already in it because you've been in it from the beta. And if you're and if you didn't sign up before, then you need to sign up now, because if you don't have access to that Rockstar group, you'll know that you're not in it. Because it's a private
Okay,
group,
so
and
so
only
we're
those
already
people
in it.
that only the people signed up on the platform. Rob Tucker is the one who manages all of that. The only people signed up on the platform are the only people in that Rockstar agent group. So if you're in there, or even if you request to be in there, he won't let you in unless you're signed up. It's
Elizabeth,
fun.
I signed up and put my numbers in yesterday.
Oh, good. You did.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's motivating. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is motivating once you get in. If I actually
It
put a
is.
timer on and I time blocked for half an hour, and I was almost like addicted to it because it's one place where you can just put everything and organize everything. Whereas we're using a CRM, and then I'm using it's just, for me, it was very exciting, and I'm excited about it.
Well, and what's cool
altogether.
about it too is, and I've got promo things that he put together too, but what's cool about it is that you put your goal in there. Say you put your goal of $100,000 GCI. Okay, let's just say it's 100,000. It will tell you, okay, how many points you need to reach that goal. It'll tell you what activities you need to do to reach that goal. It'll show you step by step by step, and then you can adjust it later. And it's real time. So it's just, I mean, everybody comes to me and they're like, what can I do to increase my business? Or I'm stuck, and I love helping, but I'm one person, right? I don't know all the ways to build your business because I know what works for me. I don't know so Eric Orland, for example, is one of the coaches that's going to be in there. He is a master at cold calling, master at converting leads, master at the scripts and dialogue. And it's insane to hear him. And it's so out of my comfort level, but it's not anything I've ever done. But it's kind of like what Rich just said. He made it sound a lot easier, more attainable, more, more aligned with what we could say. I could say half of what Rich said. He positioned it in a different way for me. But Eric Orland, I'm going to be learning from him. I've never cold called anybody in my life. I don't even like talking on the phone.
So Elizabeth,
talking on the phone to my mom. So, I mean, like, it's going to be Eric. Everybody's bringing these skill sets. Mike Sherrard is a beast with YouTube. And I mean, just from YouTube alone, he brought 300 people to the company on his front line, never calling anybody. They all reached out to him. And now he's like, man, I've won the game. I'm going to pour in. And Mike is incredibly competitive. And so, but he's going to be in here coaching. We're going to learn a lot from these people. That I'm just one person. I can teach you what I know, but I can't even log into YouTube. So I'm not going to be valuable in any of those other areas. So you'd have a whole bunch of people that are pouring into you.
I love this.
Yeah.
So we're going to be coached by all of you and all of these people, yet we're going to be put on different teams regardless of who our coach is.
Correct.
That's awesome.
So you'll be
Okay.
under one of the teams under the coaches, but we don't know who
Okay.
it is. Yeah. Kate did get a contract in 6 days. And by the way, from Rockstar and this whole conversion game, Kay and I went on a listing yesterday that Kay got from prospecting it from
Yay!
Rockstar, right? I mean, that's
Awesome.
pretty amazing. And she calls, she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I was like, well, let's just show up and we're gonna, you know what I mean? So she can shadow me and watch me and things like that. But she's got deals going on just from participating so far, right? That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited to get in. This is where all of our coaching and training is going to be. We're still doing Family Tree. You can still plug into that. Family Tree is definitely our, you know, our passion project that's going to continue. But like I said, we're elevating other leaders that are coming in there teaching. And you'll notice on my Thursday huddles, it's a lot of people teaching different things. It's not necessarily me, but we're going to be really pouring into Rockstar, especially starting July 1st, because it's 4 weeks. It's going to be, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to say it's going to be fun anymore, but it's going to be fun. So we have about 8 more minutes. Any challenges, anything you want to celebrate or brag on or share this morning?
Well, I have to say I had 2 closings that went south, and finally I've been practicing focusing on the solution for more than a year. So they both closed. I'm so happy and grateful for that, but it was a nightmare.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And I put another buyer under contract yesterday, so that's great. Yay.
Congratulations. You know, all those challenges just increase your skill set, and it's more tools in your toolbox. And
Yep.
if it were
For
easy,
sure.
everybody would do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I
But
fired 2
sometimes I say, oh my God, I'm the only one with this challenge. It's like I have all the hard transactions goes to me. Like
No, you're not the
but
only
no,
one,
that's
honey.
true.
No,
Yeah, I know.
I just fired 2 clients, 2 sellers. I might fire another one. Right. I mean, so it's not easy, but that's how we all do it. It's kind of nice to fire people because not all business is good business.
That's true. I agree 100%.
Yeah. What else? Y'all are kind
I
of
got one I'm proud of. I am like 7 views away from 10,000 views on YouTube after just starting
Wow.
this about 3 months ago. So pretty excited about that.
Okay, well, there's more than 7 of us on here, so we can all get you over that number.
That would be great.
What is it under, Ryan? I'm going in there right now. I'm never on YouTube, but I'll go follow you.
Here.
Yeah, put it in the link so we can all follow you. We're going to get you over that hump. I love
I'm not
it.
big on YouTube, but I yesterday went and finished videography with a videographer on starting my YouTube channel. So now I've done all of the video stuff, and now she's just got to do her production side of it. So I'm a little nervous because I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm excited about launching and getting my YouTube channel going so I can get that exposure.
My gosh, you know what? Don't be nervous. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. All of that's nervous. You got to be vulnerable, and you know, we're our worst critics. We're our own worst critics. Okay, so now I'm subscribing.
It only had to be 104 degrees outside yesterday, so it was miserably hot. But we went out to the country and shot it out where I grew up, so it was kind of fun to be back home too.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a little warm here in Texas. Okay, Ryan, where do we go? So I'm subscribed, but then what do we do?
I think that counts any video. So, and they're pretty much all short videos. So if you got less than a minute, then I would appreciate it.
Okay, cool. We're all going to do
Thank
it.
y'all.
Awesome. See, teamwork makes the dream work. Go team, go. Awesome. All right, cool. All right. Well, you guys are amazing. You're all like deer in the headlight. Next week, I'm having Gail DeMarco come on. I'm just reaching out to some rock stars because I've got access to these amazing rock stars, and you guys need to know them. And I always say my people need to know my people. So that's why I'm bringing them in. Rich and Hank are 2 of my favorite people. I get to hang with them every week. But Gail DeMarco was a luxury agent in California, literally just picked up her business and moved to Florida. She is awesome. Very, very, very smart. And so she's going to come in next Friday and she's a listing specialist as well, but she's going to bring her flavor to the conversation. So don't miss. You can bring your guests. It doesn't matter. We're all here, but get everybody in here and let's make it a productive Friday each week. So if y'all need anything, let me know. I'm blessed
Thank
to be
you
in
so
business with
much.
y'all.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, I got to share. Sorry, I told Elizabeth and some of you know, but I went under contract for my first 1.1 list. So we'll see. Hopefully everything works out.
Woo!
Yay!
So
Going.
I'm
It'll
really
work out.
excited about that. Yeah, they're very picky. We were at the open house. I mean, the inspection yesterday, and he was just like, God, because the inspector is he's very like he was there from 2 to 7 yesterday.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
very
those are always
meticulous,
fun.
so hopefully they don't scare them.
Well, and that's what I always tell my clients. Look, the
But yeah,
inspectors,
so that's my win for the week.
that's a huge win. The inspector's job is to find everything about the house. The inspector job is hired by the buyer. It doesn't mean that there's defects or anything wrong. It's just letting you know. So I try to talk them off the ledge. I mean, just kind of like what Rich was saying, be proactive in that. Just saying, okay, I wanted the best inspector because I wanted them to, not leave any stone unturned. And so he's going to have a very lengthy report. I don't want you to freak out about it. It's everything about the house. It's my job to help walk you through what is a defect, what we can ask for and things like that. So if you set that expectation up front, then they don't freak out when they get a 70-page inspection report. So you got this. You got this. All right, y'all, have a great day and we will see you soon.
You
Thanks,
too.
Elizabeth.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Elizabeth.
much for everything.
Always. Bye, guys.
Mhm.